Các bạn thấy không? Mình đã về nước ăn Giáng sinh rồi. Cảm giác về nước rất là tuyệt.
Mom, bring me some more beer.
Nhưng không phải là mình thích tất cả mọi điều ở nước Mỹ này. Và nhiều khi mình rất nhớ Việt Nam. Trước đây, mình đã làm một video về 5 điều ở Việt Nam mình không thể hiểu. Và bây giờ, mình sẽ chia sẻ với các bạn 6 điều ở Việt Nam mà mình mong muốn nước mình làm theo. I hope you don't feel too uncomfortable talking about bathroom activities, because I want to tell you about something I really love. The bum gun. The bum gun? Yeah, it's the gun that you use to clean your bum off after doing your business on the toilet. Well, actually, it looks more like this, and instead of bullets, it has water. Of course, you don't only find it in Vietnam. They also have it in Thailand, Malaysia, and probably some other countries I've never been to. Nevertheless, a lot of Americans would be pretty weirded out if you suggested they use one. I'm supposed to use what on my what? I was a bit weirded out at first too, but once I got used to it, I was in love. It's such a quick, thorough, and comfortable way to clean yourself off. Prior to my first trip to Asia, back in 2008, I had always thought the American way was the only sensible way. But now, it seems like such a torturous ordeal to me.
Oh, the pain.
I don't know if it's even possible to buy and install a bum gun here in America. I've tried my own solutions, but it's just not the same. When you sit down to a meal in America, you've got a fork, knife, spoon, and usually a plate of hamburgers, in which case the utensils are kind of useless. But sometimes we eat salads, and other things like that that have a lot of small pieces. Eating salad with a fork, you always have to be finding some thicker object to stab the leaves against. And sometimes at the end, you end up just stabbing the same leaf over and over again, hoping that it'll stick. But with chopsticks, you just pick it right up. Chopsticks are useful in lots of other situations too. So why can't Americans put them on the table? We do sometimes use chopsticks if we go to a Japanese or Chinese restaurant, or a pho place. But in the average American restaurant, or the average American home, you probably couldn't find a single pair of chopsticks. They aren't suitable in every situation, of course, but why can't Americans just add them into the mix? Fork, knife, spoon, and chopsticks. Seems like a great idea, but until it happens, I'm gonna take my own chopsticks everywhere I go in this country. The USA learning about capitalism from Vietnam might sound like a joke, but it's not. In Vietnam, you see ordinary people doing business everywhere. But in the US, you mostly see business done just by large corporations in prescribed areas. As far as I can tell, there are two main reasons for this difference. The first one is population density. In Vietnam, people are packed in tightly, with houses close together. So you can sell something out of your front door and expect quite a few people to pass by, and maybe buy what you're selling. But in the US, houses are generally very spread out. So there just aren't enough people around to sell something out of your front door or out on the street. And the second reason you see more small business in Vietnam, I think, is regulation. It seems like in Vietnam, if you want to open a small shop, you can just do it. But in the US, even doing very small business requires going through at least some red tape. And the result is that a lot of people are discouraged from even trying to start. Of course, the downside to the lack of regulation in Vietnam is that we all have to worry more about quality, food safety, and counterfeit products. But you know what? I'll take it. Any country that gives me the opportunity to sell my secondhand toothbrushes with a minimum of hassle, I support. A lot of my Western friends complain about service in Vietnam, or more specifically, Northern Vietnam. But I love it, and I can explain why in 2 words.
Am I?
You can't do that in America. Here, yelling something like,
Hey you!
or
Excuse me!
across a restaurant would result in everyone looking at you like a jackass. Now, if we lived in a perfect world with perfect service, we would never need to get a server's attention. But we don't live in a perfect world, so we often do need to get their attention. But in America, there's really no effective way to do it. You just have to sit and do idiotic things like this. And hope that they see you. In Hanoi, you just say,
Am I?
once, or maybe twice,
Am I? Am I?
or 3 times,
Am I? Am I? Am I?
and the problem is solved. You may not know this, but in America, it's common for people to walk right into the house without taking their shoes off.
Man, you would not believe how much dog I stepped in out there.
Ooh, is that new carpet? It's always seemed insane to me, even when I was really little and had never been to Asia. Why would you not take your shoes off? Doing so obviously keeps the house cleaner, and most people would agree that it's more comfortable too, right? And for me personally, everyone hanging out in their socks or bare feet somehow feels warmer and more intimate. My whole life, I've always liked taking my shoes off as soon as I got inside, even if I was the only one who did so. So when I came to Vietnam, I felt like I had come home. A country, in fact a whole continent, where my shoe preferences fit right in. Paradise. A couple nights ago, I walked out of a restaurant here looking like this. Why? Because there were no toothpicks on the table. Living in Vietnam, I've gotten so used to toothpicks being on every table in every restaurant, I don't know how I ever lived without them. I guess that in addition to my chopsticks, I should start taking my own toothpicks everywhere I go too. Ok, vừa rồi là sao điều mình thích ở Việt Nam hơn ở Mỹ. Thế nói chung, mình thích ở nước nào hơn? Trả lời câu hỏi đấy quá dễ luôn. Cảm ơn vì bạn đã xem video này. Nhưng trước khi bạn đi, chúng ta nói chuyện về tiền một chút nhé. Có lẽ bạn nghĩ rằng cứ làm video trên YouTube là thành giàu luôn. Nhưng thực tế không như vậy đâu. Dù sao đi nữa, mình đã đầu tư khá là nhiều vào kênh của mình. Máy ảnh mới này, micro này, chân này, phần mềm này và thật nhiều thời gian. Và mình muốn đầu tư nhiều hơn nữa. Bây giờ mình xin giới thiệu một cách mà bạn có thể ủng hộ kênh của mình. Mình vừa lập một trang cá nhân ở Patreon. Ở đấy, bạn có thể góp tiền tự động vào kênh của mình qua một hệ thống. Tức là mỗi lần mình ra video mới, thì phần tiền bạn góp sẽ tự động chuyển đến. $1, $2, bao nhiêu cũng được. Bạn có thể đặt giới hạn phần tiền tối đa mà bạn muốn góp vào một tháng. Và nếu mình không ra video nào, thì tiền của bạn vẫn còn nguyên. Nếu bạn thấy kênh của mình có giá trị với bạn, thì hãy ghé trang Patreon của mình và ủng hộ công việc này. Thậm chí một số tiền rất nhỏ cũng có một ý nghĩa rất lớn. Và nếu bạn không thể góp phần, thì đừng lo, mình sẽ tiếp tục ra các video miễn phí này cho bạn xem. Thanks for watching guys, and thanks for the support.